We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Avi Garcia, Melky Cabrera, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Paul Molitor's Minnesota Twins. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson. Steve will be along in just a moment. But today we remember the lives lost on one of the darkest days in our history. It's been 14 years today since that fateful afternoon. We have moved forward, but we will never forget. And Steve, first of a three-game set against these guys. Cleveland took 2 out of 3 from us. We had an off day yesterday, and one of the things about it is that Abreu has really been turning it up.
If you look at the numbers, you'd say that Abreu wasn't quite as good as he was last year. But when you realize they didn't pitch to him for a while, he also wasn't 100% for a while. And then realize what he's doing lately. The last 7 games, 3 home runs, 6 driven in, hitting .429. Over the last 6 weeks, he's been entirely healthy. He's been swinging the bat as well as you could possibly expect. And I expect from here to the end of the year, this is a guy who's going to put some spectacular numbers on the board. And when you see what he did last year at 36 and see he's at 27 home runs this year. Last year he drove in 107. This year he needs 14 to get to 100. Why is that important? Because only Albert Pujols in Major League history has had 30 home runs plus 100 RBIs plus in his first 2 seasons. And Jose has a very good chance to get there. Here's hoping he continues it tonight.
And tonight we get a chance to, for the second time, to look at a young pitcher who came up through our farm system, Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson looked really good last time out against Kansas City. In fact, the first 5 innings on a day that was 95 degrees with about 90% humidity, he'd only given up 2 hits and 1 run. Overall, he gave up a couple of home runs after this solo shot to Salvador Perez. And I think the heat got to him. But he was aggressive. He stayed in the zone early, and he's going to be opposed by Irvin Santana. Last couple of times out, he's been brilliant. As you can see, 2-0, the ERA .60. He's got a great slider. That's his best pitch. He's got an okay changeup, and the fastball's not overwhelming, but it's good enough to establish that slider. And we'll have to hit that tonight if we're going to get to him.
All right, it's the first of 3 against Joe Mauer and Paul Molitor's Twins. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. Xfinity. Your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back to U.S. Cellular Field on a very cool night for baseball, but a nice night now that it's cleared up and everybody out on the field, all our servicemen, our players certainly appreciative of what these guys have done and what all the military has done for the United States. Also the first responders, the police, the fire department, everybody associated with being in places that most people run from and they run to. We shall not forget September 11th, 2001 on all of the bases. So let's take a look at how Paul Molitor is going to line up his Minnesota Twins. They are one game back in a wild card against all odds. Aaron Hicks leading it off. Then Brian Dozier, who's had a good year against our Sox. Joe Mauer in the 3 spot. Then it's Miguel Sano, Trevor Plouffe, Eddie Rosario, Torrey Hunter, Kurt Suzuki, and Eduardo Escobar playing shortstop and hitting 9th. The defense and how they'll line up behind Eric Johnson. Melky Cabrera, Adam Eaton, and Avisail Garcia in the outfield. With Mike Gold, Alexi Ramirez, Micah Johnson, Adam LaRoche in the infield, Rob Brantley behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Eric Johnson. That his one lone start this year, 6 innings, 3 runs, all solo homers. But he didn't walk anybody, and he was very aggressive. The umpires, Mike Luczynski behind the plate, Mark Wegner at first, Marty Foster at second, Mike Winters, the crew chief, at third. We're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball. And here's Aaron Hicks, the center fielder, first pitch of the ball game, taken for a strike. Hicks, 25 years old, hitting at .265, 10 homers. He's driven in 27.
He's a former #1 draft choice, and it's coming to him late, but they believe he's got a world of talent, and they just really need him to show it now.
Well, we have seen the talent. Now, can he get it out?
Better right-hand hitter than a left-hand hitter, however.
How's that back? Twins come in hitting at .247 as a club with a 4.16 team ERA. Big gap out there in left center. That ball hit hard, right at him, over his head. He misplayed it, didn't read it. And Hicks on second base.
Well, you would think it would be E8. We'll have to wait and see. It's hit hard, but he drifts in instead of going back, and eventually this ball just accelerates over his head.
Well, like most center fielders, that's the one play that Adam really has a lot of trouble reading. Ball hit very hard right at him, and he's not alone in that category. So he ruled it a double. And here's Dozier. Dozier 240, 27 homers, 70 knocked in. Not a good technique. We'll take it, and the count evens at 1.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to push a bunt right at second base. In this case, Micah Johnson. Dozier doesn't bunt too often, as illustrated by that technique. He does not have a sacrifice this year.
Well, this is the 17th meeting of the year between these two clubs. In the first 16, Minnesota's won 11 of them. Two balls and a strike, And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center.
Twins come into this one at 72-67, 5 games over. Texas 66 losses.
Well, Minnesota has been, for baseball, a feel-good story, while our guys have been a not feel-good story.
And Paul Molitor, in his first year of managing, has done a terrific job, and Miguel Sano coming up has really given this team a shot in the arm. We'll take a look at the wild card, and you see the improbable Twins, not highly regarded by anybody in preseason prognostications, but they're playing good solid baseball. They trail the Rangers by 1 game. The Yankees have 4.5 game lead, and right now the Yankees would like to be playing anybody but Toronto. Toronto put 5 on the board in the first inning. They lead 6-0 in the Bronx in a big series.
So trouble brewing right here in the top of the first inning. The gift double should have been an error, as Mauer takes strike 1. Joe at 269, 8 homers, 59 knocked in.
Joe's grounded into 18 double plays this year. He loves to hit the ball through the left side. Alexi's playing him up the middle because he's the guy charged with keeping Hicks close.
0-2 the count.
Career against our Sox, Joe Mauer's been pretty good. He's been pretty good average-wise against everybody in baseball.
The 0-2. Good pitch. It was the right call. Just White did not have enough height to fool him. Our terrific plate coverage. Now they're going to go in. He gone at 95.
He just outguessed Mauer, took a fastball right down the middle, and we'll take a look at what's been happening to these Twins lately. And it's been excellent. Best records in Major League Baseball since August 20th. The Mets, they're number 1. The Blue Jays, number 2. The Indians, who we just saw, number 3, and the Minnesota Twins tied with the Dodgers at number 4. With Minnesota, we talked about them a game behind in the wild card race. And Paul Molitor has got this team playing good, solid baseball.
Here's a very dangerous hitter. If you missed that last series we had with Minnesota, this guy is scary. Miguel Sano at 281, 16 homers, 43 driven in.
He swung the bat exceptionally well against us in Minnesota, but then after we left, he went into a bit of a downturn in that he strikes out a whole lot. But we didn't see that in Minnesota.
.6'4", 262 pounds.
Paul Molitor told me about him is that he gets an inordinate amount of 3-2 counts because he's got a pretty good eye.
There's a strike. Well, he certainly is going to give whoever hits in front of him some protection.
Yeah, he can be really scary to all fields because he's got enormous power.
That breaking ball, no.
He does, however, have 88 strikeouts in 196 at-bats. Penciled out over a full season, it's 270 strikeouts.
Lays off that one, and the count goes his way at 3-1. Just 22 years old.
He's had some leg problems, so if you can get him to hit the ball on the ground, it probably will be 2.
Big rip. Well, he didn't play last year. He had Tommy John surgery. And he is out of where else? San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican. So a big pitch with 1 out, 2 on. The 3-2. And that'll load him up. That misplay of the ball in center field caused some problems here, which misplays usually do.
They usually do is right. Time now for the AT&T Uverse Multiview, and it is Trevor Plouffe. So you see the bases full of twins. Excellent speed at third, very good speed at second, and not much speed at first.
And another dangerous hitter at the plate. Plouffe, 242, 18 homers, 73 knocked in. Close pitch. Looked like it had the outside edge of the outside corner. Didn't get it. And that evens the count. Outfield straight up. Spaced about equidistant.
And nobody on this team has grounded into more double plays than Trevor Plouffe. He's grounded into 26 of them.
Gets that one by him at 94.
Career with the bases loaded, not terribly impressive. The biggest advance in his game has been defensively. He's become a very good third baseman.
He gone. Big out. 2 down.
Throws a high fastball by him. He keeps it away. So 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, leaving him 1 out away from getting out of this inning.
Can't ease up. Here's Rosario, another youngster at 23, hitting at 264, 9 homers, 39 driven in. Curveball high.
In Minnesota, he hit a grand slam against our ball club.
Went a long way.
It went a long way.
Can't get it.
In that ball game in Minnesota, he had a couple of shots. The first time, he left them loaded. The second time, he unloaded all of them.
That ball hit hard. Stay in. Jumps, yes! Timed perfectly by Avi. Beautiful jump, beautiful catch, beautiful play. And that'll retire the side.
Melky Cabrera, Avisail Garcia, Adam LaRoche, Alexi Ramirez, Rob Brantley, Mike Holt, and Micah Johnson getting a start at second. The defense and now the lineup behind Irvin Santana. It's Rosario, Hicks, and Hunter in the outfield with Plouffe, Escobar, Dozier, and Mauer in the infield. Kurt Suzuki behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Irvin Santana. He's been brilliant the last couple times out. This is his 13th start. He's 4-4, his ERA up close to 5. He's got a devastating slider if he can keep you off his fastball.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as the first pitch strike. Adam Eaton, Santana, 32 years old, 6'2", 175. It's a good pitcher.
Well, the Twins are hoping that he is a really good pitcher because they signed him to a 4-year, $54 million contract late last year.
Fouls that one down. He's out of San Cristobal in the Dominican.
Just look at the numbers, and they're pretty impressive overall. 123 and 104, 19 over.
Foul. And that's foul.
Let's take a look at how the inning ended and kept the Twins off the scoreboard, and it's courtesy of Avi Garcia. He goes back to the wall, leaps up as high as he can, and keeps his ball in the ballpark. This is great timing. At the top of his leap, he plucked it out of the air, and nobody scored.
If he doesn't get that jump, it's a 4-0 game.
That's it.
He's going to be something. He's good now, but he's really going to be something.
I'm glad he's not shorter because he's made a few of those this year.
Well, he's probably got more assists in right field than anybody in baseball.
Hey, he's got the most.
And as he gets him on a bad pitch, so 1 out. But the biggest thing he's done this year, besides just terrific catches and those long assists, he stopped guys from going from first to third. That's the best thing the right fielder can do for a pitcher is stop guys from going from first to third.
Now, there's not a whole lot of people that are going to run on his arm if he's not running to one side or the other because he's pretty accurate and he has an overwhelmingly strong arm.
Here's Abreu at 295, 27 homers and 86 knocked in.
When Santana first came back from his suspension, a lot of the hitters in this league were jumping on his fastball early, not wanting him to get to that slider, which is really good.
And almost all his assists this year have been from 9 to 4, 9 to 6, 9 to 5, 9 to 2, without the middleman in between. A lot of guys can compile some assists by going to hitting the cutoff man, 9-4-2, 9-4-5. But he does it on his own.
Now, he doesn't need many cutoff men. When he gets the baseball in position to throw it, the cutoff man's usually not involved because that throw is 5 feet off the ground and usually skips right to where it's intended to skip.
Just underneath it. Good hack.
Might remember Santana in the early years. The Angels signed him as an international free agent. That was at age 16 back in 2000.
Look at this. That's a big hurt special right there. Fights it off. Boy, stronger, we get. Ooh.
This is a fastball inside and a good stroke. Pulls the hands in. It's an inside-out stroke. Todd Steverson, talking about Abreu, said what's been most impressive, regardless of what's happened this year, he's never changed his approach. He takes the ball back up the middle. He takes it to right field. You hang something, he'll hit it out in left. That's what makes him a great hitter.
Force. And that's it. So with 2 out, let's check out our picks to play. DiMaggio, Mike Leary, Dave Ross, the crew. They went with LaRoche. Steve's going with Mike and Johnson, and the Bertucci boys, Bobby Bruno and Handsome Anthony and I, along with David Novak and all the great folks at Hyundai of Downers Grove. We're going to go with Alexei.
As they're going up there looking first ball fastball, and if they get it, they're turning it loose. I think a good plan against Santana.
That ball's too high. So Hicks is there, makes the catch. That'll retire the side. After 1, no score.
In the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Yeah, fans, you can interact with CSN Chicago during the game by using the hashtag White Sox Talk. And make sure to follow us on Twitter at CSN White Sox. Here's Torrey Hunter, future Hall of Famer. Torrey, 18 homers, 64 knocked in at the age of 40.
Had a great first half, kind of fallen off here in the second half.
That's where the difference comes with Torrey is in the clubhouse and maintaining some, making it easier on the skipper, in this case Paul Molitor. Torrey, 150-something games over 500 in his career. Not many guys can say that.
Oh, and one of the big reasons, as Paul Molitor stressed, that they brought him back was what he does off the field.
And there's a base hit. So here is Kurt Suzuki. 243, 5 homers, 44 knocked in.
He's a very good hit and run man. I don't know if Molitor will use it this early, but Suzuki usually makes contact.
Not a good technique right there, just a little jab.
No, he does have 6 sacrifices, so he can lay down a bunt, but that wasn't one of his better efforts. Plus, he was thinking about a base hit, catching Holt back a couple of steps, but against our Sox, as you can see, 316. 7 runs batted in 12 games.
Oh, 2 the count. 322 career against us.
That's strong. I hated to see him come to bat wearing an Oakland uniform, and it hasn't gotten a whole lot better wearing the Twin uniform.
322. 46 RBIs in 68 games. There's where he is, really. That's way overshadows the 322 average.
And much stronger than he's hit against anybody else as far as meaningful base hits. Took a good look at that slider, recognizing it was off the plate, and he checked his swing.
Well, in the category of Sox killer, Ryan Rayburn is the reigning king, and Kurt would be second.
And Torrey says, at my age, you're thrown over here? But throwing would be tossing over there.
Nodding around that one, and it is foul. Count hangs to 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, when you're 150-something games, over 500 in your career, you are definitely classified a winner. Close pitch. Meanwhile, full count.
Well, if you can strike him out, which is a difficult task, you're probably going to get a chance to strike him out, throw him out, because Suzuki has fanned only 47 times in 374 at-bats. You would think Molitor would be sending Hunter.
Yeah, with the contact man at the plate, no doubt about it. There he goes. Players make those decisions for the manager. There he goes. Yes, he did. He gone. And he gone. Strike him out, throw him out. 2 down.
This is a good slider and a very good throw to second as Torrey looks back. Doesn't have much speed anymore. And when Suzuki couldn't check his swing, the rest is easy as Torrey just slides into the tag. Good pick by Brantley. Gets rid of it very quickly. Torrey thinking about maybe knocking it out of the glove with his hands, but didn't work out for him.
There's a strike to Eduardo Escobar. Hitting at 263, 9 homers, 47 knocked in. 2-2.
Time now for our lows. Never stop improving stat the last 20 games. Eduardo's hitting .351 with 5 homers, 9 doubles, 14 driven in, and 19 scored. Pretty impressive for the one-time White Sox utility player.
That's up high, full count. He gone. Third strikeout for Eric after an inning and a half, no score.
November 13th at 10:15 a.m. First 1,000 children's tickets purchased through this special ticket offer are invited to an exclusive pregame children's autograph session. Visit whitesox.com/autographs for tickets and more information.
Our half of the second inning. It'll be LaRoche, Ramirez, and Brantley. At 213, 12 homers, 44 knocked in. And he has faced Santana 14 times, has 5 hits. Soft comebacker.
One of the reasons why you want to jump on Santana's fastball is hitters are hitting .340 against fastballs this year. That's near the bottom of all the 139 qualified starting pitchers.
Alexei takes first pitch strike. Alexei at 253, 9 homers, 54 drop in. Out in front.
Last 11 games, Alexei hitting .432 with 12 scored, 6 driven in, and 8 multi-hit games.
As we mentioned before, years past, This would be called a salary drive.
Well, he's certainly turned it on.
Two down.
Except that slider got him. Menard's pitch tracks. We'll see where the 5 appears. In the same vicinity as the 3.
Here's Brantley at 143, a homer. He's driven in 4. Take strike 1. Now Plouffe is going to put the full shift on him.
Have to take away the bunt the first couple of pitches, and once you get to 2 strikes.
That didn't take long. 1, 2, 3, and we're into the 3rd. And USO welcome 150 active military service men and women to the ballpark for lunch provided by the good folks at Beggar's Pizza. Pitcher John Danks was on hand to greet the group and thank them for their service. Aaron Hicks hit a line drive hard in the center field leading off the ball game that Adam Eaton did not get a good read on. Went back on it, could not recover. And it was a double. 3-0 the count. Come back and get it. He's 9 for 12 in stolen bases. There's one. Dreaded leadoff walk. 3rd walk issued by Eric. He has 4 strikeouts. And here's Dozier. He walked his first trip. There's a strike and didn't get it.
Shaved off the inside corner with a slider and did not get the call from Mike Muchlinski.
Big's good lead.
He's going to first here. You got 4 runners on this team. They're not a prolific stolen base club. 60 steals, thrown out 37 times.
There he goes.
And Eric did not take a look at all at Hicks. He just took off, and wisely, Dozier, just with a ball 1 count, he just took off.
And the count 2-0. Outfield straight up, spread out. Normally Dozier will put that one in play. And a lot of times very hard.
He had some big power numbers for a second baseman. Big for anybody, but especially a second baseman.
That slider, 2-2. One thing about it, Dozier's had a couple of good pitches to hit in this sequence.
There was a slider over the middle of the plate, and he just fouled it straight back. Dozier didn't like the call, but that was a good call because that ball had the whole plate. And I think when Brian takes a look at this, he'll realize via our Menards pitch tracks that that was a very good pitch. Perfect pitcher's pitch.
He'll realize the first pitch was a strike.
Yep.
That will bring up Joe Mauer. He was called out on strikes on a fastball. Up and out over the plate. Takes first pitch strike. Nine wide, Mauer 8. 319 hitter coming into this season. That's just off the outside corner.
All 3 innings, the Twins have put the leadoff man on. In the first inning, and again here in the third, they've had a man at second and nobody out. Yet, no runs yet.
There was a strike, and he didn't get that one. 3-1.
We talk a lot about the Dominican Republic, and we talk about the small city that is San Pedro de Macorís. That's where it is in relation to Chicago. It's a small city in a relatively small country. But when you think about the players they've put out, Julio Franco, 2,527 games. Sammy Sosa, 2,354 games. Tony Fernandez, 2,158 games. There's 90 players from this city of 185,000 people that have played in the major leagues. That's absolutely astonishing when you consider how relatively small the city is. But how many great players came from that very small city in the Dominican Republic?
Indeed, indeed. It is a wonderful baseball city. Whatever they do there, they do it right as far as their youngsters.
Used to be known as the cradle of shortstops, but lately there's more and more pitchers coming out of that cradle of development.
Here's Sano. He walked. 4 walks now. Or Eric. Takes a strike. Micah better hang out around second. High, LaRoche. Stay in, dude. It will. Back him up. And that is out number 2. So one dangerous man gone, and here's another one in Plouffe who struck out swinging on a fastball.
Eric, with those 5 strikeouts and 4 walks, has already thrown 65 pitches. That's a big workload, and not through the 3rd inning.
Got a shot at him. He got it. Beautiful play by Brantley. Good recovery from the knees and throws a good peg to get him, and that'll retire the side.
In front of you and still make a good solid throw, you're really helping the club. This is a big effort by Brantley. He knocked it down and threw Hicks out at 3rd base. He anticipated that ball would get much farther away from Rob Brantley than it did. He jumped right on it, made a quick throw, and helped get Eric out of the inning.
So for us, it'll be Olt, Johnson, and back to the top of the order with Adam Eaton. And here in the bottom of the 3rd, no score. 0-2-0 for them, 0-1-0 for us, if you're just tuning in. Olt takes strike 1. Yeah, look at this. Is that sweet or what? He's going to give it a shot. Good throw's going to get it.
He might have been there, but he came off the bag, as we've seen way too many times this year.
Perfect peg, though, by Torrey Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter made a very good play, and Mike Alt was right to take a gamble and would have been there if not for rolling off the bag. Torrey gets there. Throw is there. And he got him. Looked like he was trying to slide by the bag and then come back with the right arm and was not able to accomplish it.
And Micah that ball into left center field. Nobody's going to get that one. So there's the double by Micah Johnson.
Micah picks on a first ball fastball, and Santana's thrown a lot of first ball fastballs. So if you're sitting on it, you're going to be in pretty good shape as he drives this ball into the gap and easily goes into second base.
So here's Adam. Struck out swinging on a fastball. One out, one on, 1-1 to count. And the count goes Adams' way. Outfield straight up. Really spread out. Ball hit sharply. Dozier. So 2 down.
Join us at U.S. Cellular Field on Saturday, October 3rd, as the White Sox host the Detroit Tigers at 6:10. First 10,000 fans will receive an exclusive stretch sale action figure. For tickets or more information, visit whitesox.com.
Here's Abreu. He shoved a single into right field back in the first inning. Two and 0 the count.
2 fastballs pushed him back off the plate.
Well, you know what they're going to try to do every time he's got a situation like this. Man on second. Anybody in scoring position, they're going to try to make him beat them inside.
Especially with 345 batting average with runners in scoring position. He went to the slider, which is by far his best pitch. And he had Jose pulling off that one a bit.
Yeah, he had a little depth on that one. There he comes inside again, and he's going to get him. So we get a couple of hits, and he can't do anything with it. And we're into the 4th, still scoreless.
Hispanic Heritage Night on October 2nd, presented by Miller Lite. There's going to be Latin music and dancing, special activities for kids, an on-field parade, and a post-game fireworks show. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Miller Lite, the official beer of your Chicago White Sox.
First pitch just off the plate to Trevor Plouffe, who was at the plate. Brantley made that beautiful play, throwing out Aaron Hicks at third. Left field deep. And it is 1-0 Minnesota.
That ball was out away from Plouffe. He just turned on it and hit his 19th home run of the year. 74 driven in, and that's the first one of the ball game. The fourth solo home run hit off Eric, and this is a hanging slider. Our fourth home run replay. Plouffe crushes it.
Here's Rosario. Takes first pitch strike. Rosario comes in at 264. 9 homers. He's 0 for 1, and here was that one out.
This would have been the second grand slam Rosario's hit against us this year, but for the heroics, Lavaseo Garcia.
Hi, Papa. One down. One to count. Torrey, a single leading off the second inning.
Went upstairs and out of the zone for that one. He falls in a 1-2 hole.
A single, then was caught stealing. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Good rip. And again, just underneath it, so the count hangs at 1-2. Micah. 2 down. Here's Kurt Suzuki. In a 3-2 count, slider, check swing, strikeout. And then they completed that with a throw out of Hunter at second. Just off the corner. Taking some other scores for you. Bottom of the 6th in Baltimore. 4-2 Kansas City. Cubs in a doubleheader. In Philadelphia, they win. Cubs win game 1 5-1. And they lead game 2 3-0. That's in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Jake Arrieta won his 19th of the year.
Well, it does not surprise us.
No, not with the stuff in 2 games that he threw against our ball club. He's 19-6 with an ERA of 1.99 in his pursuit of a Cy Young award.
It's just off the corner. Mets leading Atlanta 2-0. Top of the 5th inning down in Atlanta. That ball hit hard in the gap. Now by the Wintrust sign. So the 2-out double by Suzuki.
Three-one count, and Eric went to the fastball. And Suzuki looking fastball all the way. Got what he was looking for. So he keeps the inning alive. He was an all-star last year for the first time at age 30.
Here's Escobar. He struck out swinging on a fastball. First of 3 against these Twins. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it'll be the Oakland A's coming to town to finish off this homestand. That had a piece of the corner, did not get the call.
Eduardo, very similar hitter from both sides of the plate. He has equal power and almost an equal batting average.
Jacks it up, takes a strike.
It was a good straight change. He had Escobar well out in front of it. Probably his best straight change of the night. Good late movement and in a perfect spot.
That was the best one of the night. He hadn't thrown that many. Nope. That up high. 2-2 the count. So a full count with Aaron Hicks on deck. That could be no. Alexei is there. That'll retire the side, but the 19th homer of the season for Trevor Plouffe. They lead at 1-0.
Came to his first White Sox game last month holding a poster proudly displaying that he had kicked cancer's butt. Tonight, as part of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, the White Sox invited Carmelo and his family to join us. And before the game, Jose Quintana presented him with his own jersey with his name on it. And he's a very happy young man. And in the stands, we've already seen him enjoying the concession stands. And he certainly is enjoying the ball game, if not at this point, the score. But there are bigger things than that, and beating cancer at the very young age of 6 is pretty impressive.
Here's Melky. Takes first pitch strike. 1-4-0 for Minnesota. 0-3-0 for us. Ball high and deep to right field. Torrey is there. 1 out.
Well, Aaron Hicks is explaining to Torrey that, you're a lot older, more experienced, and even though it is my particular call in baseball, I will defer to age. Also pretty sure hands in right field.
Well, Aaron Hicks would just hope that he could have a career in center field like Torrey.
Even anywhere close.
Just anywhere close is right. Torrey, in many ways, redefined playing center field in the major league. Prior to Torrey, you have most outfielders, especially center fielders, that just would not hit that wall. Torrey took away that. One and one to count to Avi.
So the numbers for the last 23, they've been pretty impressive. And he's been going up the middle a lot. With that in mind, they have shifted on him. Very few teams will do this, but Dozier is playing on the third base side of second.
That pitch was not a strike, called a strike. And to count 2-2. That hit.
And that got him good. Right on the left elbow, maybe just a touch above. Yeah, that got him. Only the fourth man that Santana's hit this year. But that one is barking to him.
That one right there might be in that X-ray category.
This is the 7th time that Avi's been hit. 7 times. I'm not sure too many harder than that.
Well, you got Santana's not a head hunter.
No,
never has been. That was just got away a little bit from it. You mentioned only 4 guys who's hit, but a lot of times you get a guy like Santana who is known not to be a head hunter. Guys go in there and they take a little more liberty, so to speak, and they don't move quite as well on the inside pitch.
Well, especially after looking at his slider that was lowing away the pitch before, you have a tendency to want to go out and get it, except it wasn't out there.
Here's LaRoche. We got some tough guys. You talk Avi, you talk Abreu, Tyler Flowers. I mean, these guys, they have a high pain tolerance. Some guys take that same shot that Avi did.
Out
for
a month.
Take him off in a stretcher. Put Put him in ICU overnight. And the count 3-0. There's ball 4. So 2 on, 1 out. That's the first walk issued by Santana. And that'll bring up Alisei. Alexi struck out his first trip. High pop up. Infield fly rule is called.
It's time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
There's Brantley. Struck out back in the second inning. Top of the 6th in the Bronx. Toronto leading the Yankees 9-2. There's a shot base hit. That a boy. Bobby's going to be waiting around. Here's a throw by Torrey. Torrey has thrown out 2 guys.
Well, you understand why Joe McEwing would take the gamble. Robin wants to take another look at it, thinking that he was in before the tag.
Well, from up here, it looked like he was out. But we'll see.
He was out.
And that'll retire the side. We have a chance. Torrey Hunter with 2 assists. And we're into the 5th, trailing 1-0. Keeps the score at 1-0 Minnesota. And here's Hicks. He has doubled and he has walked. Fouls that straight back.
Twins gave one of their top prospects a chance to play center field every day, Byron Buxton, but hitting 192, they decided to give Hicks a switch hitter. a chance to go out there and once again see what he can do.
Well, when you're in sight of a possible postseason opportunity.
Yeah, they're not in development mode at this point.
No.
And there's a very good chance Buxton is going to be very good. But right now, one game out of the wild card, you're grinding each and every day, and they're in a surprising spot. They might as well take advantage of it.
Well, there's so many nuances that go into it, as you well know. How's he handling it? Can the club accept it? That he's not hitting well, but he's doing everything in the outfield? All kinds of things come into play. And with Molitor, he's got a better feel for it than anybody else. And if he feels like it's the right thing to make a change, you might look at what we did in 05. We put a rookie in there to be the closer. And he did the job.
Well, at that point, after Hermanson got hurt, I don't know how many opportunities they would have had for other folks to get there, but Bobby Jenks was certainly equal to the task, and that is a towering pop-up drifting into fair territory. So for the first time tonight, Aaron Hicks is retired.
And here's Dozier, a walk and a strikeout. There's a strike to even the count at 1. Three and 1. Next pitch will be number 100.
And if you go with a fastball here, you better make sure it's away. That was way away.
That's the 5th walk issued by Eric. Now bring up Maurer, who has struck out and he has walked. Well, there's 5 teams in our division. As there is in every division, but in our division, every team with the exception of Minnesota was picked to win this division.
It's true.
So it's a feel-good story for baseball, quote baseball. And as far as I'm concerned, if we can't get there, I'm hoping Minnesota does, just for that reason. And there's no team in our division I'd rather beat than these guys, because they have handed us our lunch for a long time. Long set. Now Maurer call time. In that Cub-Philly game, top of the 4th inning, 3-0. Kyle Schwarber, first 2 times up, saw 2 pitches, and both of them left the premises.
He's going to be something, and that's a great park to hit in Philadelphia.
Holt playing back. Maurer faking the bunt and taking the ball for 2-0.
Now you really have to keep your eye on Dozier, who is one of their best base stealers. 11 of 15. He's been successful.
There's a strike. That right there. Bauer's wheelhouse.
105th coming. Daniel Webb throwing in the pen and getting ready in a hurry.
Good lead by Dozier. And the count evens at 2.
5 walks and 5 strikeouts will get you a lot of pitches thrown.
Outfield slightly to the left. Bauer with a typical Bauer swing right there. First of 3 against these guys. Tomorrow night, 6:10 start. That game will be over WG, and if you can't make it to the ballpark, it'll be Jose Quintana against Cy Malone. Tommy Cy Malone. There he goes. That ball into left field. Melky. He's there right in front of the fence.
And Dozier actually ran around second base, had to retouch second on his way back to first. So there's 2 that just barely stayed in the park as Melky goes back. About a step and a half in front of the wall, able to make the catch. And Dozier, he's going with the pitch. And he goes around second. Has some time, has to retouch the bag, and he's back easily at first.
Did not check it up. Talking about Cy Malone. This year against us in 3 starts, he's 3-0 with a 0.87 ERA.
Last time out probably was his best. That game in Minnesota, he was untouchable.
Curveball. So, first wild pitch for Aaron.
Well, the first curveballs he's thrown, and Bob Rosenberg did get it right. It was a wild pitch.
Big hack by a big man, and the count 1-2. Outfield for the most part straight up. That was close.
A lot of 2s up on the board.
And there was a strike. He had him struck out right there and didn't get the call.
Now, on the pitch tracks, this ball is
right there. How can he miss that pitch?
Just above waist high.
And hopefully what normally happens after a blown call like that when you got a guy struck out, hopefully it does not happen. He got him on that one. Right at the bottom of the zone, and that'll be turning us out. We're halfway home. We're trailing 1-0. We better start coming up with something because we trail at 1-0. 1-4-0 for them. 0-4-0 for us. Mike Old, 2 single. Then tried to stretch it into a double and was gunned down by Torrey Hunter. 2-0 the count. Three 3-0. Don't help him out. Micah Johnson on deck. Turns him loose. Solid single. If he gets it up, it's tied. But meanwhile, leadoff man aboard.
He hits this ball awfully hard, but with a lot of topspin. And it just sinks right in front of Rosario in left field.
Micah hit the first pitch he saw into left center field for a double. Back in the 3rd inning. Good concept. Going to the count. One gone.
Sox fans, join us on Wednesday, September 16th for Bark at the Park at U.S. Cellular Field, presented by Avoderm Natural Pet Foods and Nylabone. For more information, visit whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME.
Here's Adam. He is 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded to second. That ball hit hard. Stretch. Back. He looks up. You can. Put it on the board. Yes.
That's home run number 13. RBIs 44 and 45. 13 home runs for Adam Eaton, who takes it straight out over the 400 mark in straightaway center field. Ford home run replay. This is a slider that doesn't slide very much, but does go out of the yard. Hicks looks up. Can't do anything with it except give up the lead at 2-1.
And here is Abreu, who's 1 for 2. Of course, with that home run, I Eaton, the Alex Snellius family, and Christine O'Reilly will hook up with White Sox Charities. Once again, in loving memory of Ursula. There's a strike, 1-1 to count. Snapped by Santana. Low throw.
When you try to lollipop it to first base, more times than not, the throw isn't going to be particularly good. But this time, Joe Mauer was able to scoop it out and save the error. 61% strikes, and on first pitch, 15 of 20. With 4 strikeouts and the 1 walk, but 1 hanging slider to Adam Eaton has seen the lead disappear.
Here's Melky. Takes first pitch strike. And that's chop foul.
That one was a little short.
Well, about a 52-footer.
That makes catchers feel very, very happy. That's from a fastball. And you saw Mike Luchlinski ducking out of the way, and wisely so. Kurt Suzuki with no chance of getting that one.
2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's high in the center field. But the 2-run homer by Adam Eaton. We're into the 6th. We lead it 2-1. University of Chicago Medicine Comer Children's Hospital. Tickets start as low as $5 and parking is just $10. And White Sox and Comer Children's Hospital teaming up for kids' health. Purchase your tickets today. WhiteSox.com. Rate 66 Sox game.
Daniel Webb comes into the ball game. Eric Johnson, the pitcher of record, and Daniel 1-0 ERA, .255 on for the 21st time. He's got a 1-run lead to protect.
Eric Johnson, second start, second impressive start.
He battled tonight. He didn't have his best stuff, but he battled.
High pop up right side. Plouffe. So 1 out. Well, it's certainly, knock on wood, appears that Eric Johnson is back.
Yeah, he's getting the ball. He's very aggressive. Didn't have the real good control tonight, but he didn't make a whole lot of mistakes. And consequently, when you don't have your great stuff and still only give up 1 run, that's pretty good.
Here's Rosario. Takes the bunt, takes a strike. He was robbed of a grand slam home run. Just a brilliant catch by Avi Garcia to end the first inning. He also hit a very high pop-up to Michael Johnson II. Watch out. Colby Lewis pitching for the Rangers down at Arlington had a perfect game through 6. Should say has a perfect game through 6.
He's got it through 7.
I don't know how your iPad is fresh in mine, but
this looks into the future.
And mine's brand new. Hi, Papa's going to be out of here.
And that one bounces around for a while.
That's amazing. Two and two the count. Rosario just with a good 2-strike approach pokes it into left field.
That was a straight change, and he was able to reach out in full protection mode, not thinking about doing anything but staying alive. And he flips it into a base hit. That'll bring Torrey Hunter to the plate. He's 1 for 2. His base hit coming in the second. He grounded to second in the 4th. And Rosario with a short lead at first as Hunter looks at a fastball inside.
And Torrey with 2 big assists. Nailing Olt at second base. And Avi at home.
He gets himself in very good position by hustling over there, making it toward second and cutting down Olt at second. And then a terrific throw home because Avi can run. And he cuts him down at the plate.
One and one to count. Gotta watch Rosario's 10 for 15 in stolen bases.
They got 3 guys now in double figures.
Good lead. There he goes. That ball hit hard, deep. Allen can't get there, so this game is going to be tied at 2 on the double by Torrey Hunter.
Well, unfortunately, the bad break was that it was hit so far it didn't have a chance to one hop out of the ballpark. Had it hit the track a little bit closer to the grass, it probably would have one hopped out of the park. But Torrey Hunter, now 2 for 3, drives in his 65th run of the year. And as it kicks high off the wall, it's a brand new game tied at 2.
That's his 20th double. So here's Suzuki. A strikeout, and he doubled. Totals on the board identical at 2, 6, and 0. There's a strike. Curtis had good success against Daniels. Faced him 7 times, has 3 hits. pop up. Bobby. Two out. And here's Eduardo Escobar, who is 0 for 2. Two and 0 the count. I mentioned tomorrow night, make your plans to be with us if you can. It'll be at WGN, Quintana against Malone. Finale on Sunday afternoon. As that pitch is fouled back. Chris Sale for us on the bump against Kyle Gibson. If you can't make it to the ballpark, that game will be back here on Comcast Sportsnet. So Quintana against Malone tomorrow. Chris Sale against Kyle Gibson on Sunday. Change up high and wide, so a full count. Check that, 3-1. Torrey at second. Micah's got him, and that'll retire the side, but the single, the double by Torrey Hunter. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth, tied at 2.
Miguel Garcia and Carlos Sanchez on November 28th for the Sox on the Beach Apple Vacation. His 7-night all-inclusive hotel stay will be at the Iberostar Paricio Del Mar in beautiful Riviera Maya, Mexico. There's going to be a private welcome party and autograph session, food and drink, and special group activities with your White Sox hosts. Visit applevacations.com/White Sox to book your trip today.
2-2 tie here in the bottom of the sixth inning. It'll be Garcia, LaRoche, and Ramirez to face Irvin Santana. As he takes ball one. Ivy 0 for 1. Went out to center field, and then he was hit by a pitch back in the fourth inning on the elbow. So Santana, who was suspended for 80 games for a PED, will not be, if the Twins get in postseason, eligible to pitch. Now, if they go to 163, he is eligible to pitch or play in that game. 2-1.
That's a really big portion of the season to miss.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Good rip by Ivy. Two balls, two strikes. Slider. Another slider. And the count hangs at 3-2. Fastball away. So this will be the 9th pitch. And that ball hit into left center field. Aaron Hicks. One out. So here's Adam LaRoche, 0 for 1 with a walk.
There's some pretty good numbers at 5 1/3 with the 6 hits, 2 earned runs, with only 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. The big shot, the 2-run homer by Adam Eaton last inning.
That over the center field fence, if you're just tuning in. One ball, 2 strikes.
Adam thought he had broken his bat as he catches that off the end on the straight change.
High in short center field. So 2 down, and that'll bring up Alexei, who has struck out and popped up for second. Alexei takes first pitch strike. Fluke's got him. And a 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the 7th. Tied at 2. season against Green Bay. Turn to CSN for the best game day coverage in town on Bears pregame live presented by Meyer. Then after the game, flip over to CSN Plus for locker room reaction and more on Bears postgame live presented by Nissan. Then after the game, flip over to CSN Plus for locker room reaction and more on Bears postgame live presented by Nissan.
And the second half of that's coming up.
It all begins Sunday morning right here at 11 right here on CSN Chicago.
A tribute for 9/11 at the ballpark.
Oh, 1-1 the count. Aaron Hicks, the leadoff hitter, is double, walked, and popped up to third.
That was a good straight change. He had Hicks well out in front of it.
That's a pitch that Daniel has really got to come up with. He's got to come, especially for the left-handers.
If he can keep it down to the left-handers, he's in good shape.
Look at the play by Micah. Yes, beautiful play by Micah Johnson. That's a hang with him for Hicks.
That might have a good chance of being a game saver. If Hicks gets on, he's got great speed. This is just an outstanding play by Micah. This ball is almost by him. Full out dive. And he makes a play at first. Outstanding.
And Hicks, who can run, hitting left-handed. As there is a slider strike to Dozier. To the count. Daniel, who has a terrific arm, but he needs that straight change, especially as we mentioned, to left-handed hitters. Checks it up. Take your time now. 2 down. So here's Mauer. A strikeout, a walk, and a fly out to left. Yankees leading New York 11-5, bottom of the 7th in the Bronx. That is the 23rd time this year that they have scored 10 or more runs in a game.
It's the 13th time that Josh Donaldson hit a home run in the first inning.
Nice inning right there. Beautiful play by Micah Johnson. 7th inning stretch, tied at 2. Rob Brantley will lead it off here in our half of the seventh in this 2-2 tie. He is 1 for 2. He was robbed of an RBI on a beautiful peg by Torrey Hunter to nail Avi Garcia at home back in the fourth inning.
Brantley waited back on a changeup and nailed it to right field.
He's got some pop. There's no doubt about that.
He's also cut down 2 would-be base stealers tonight.
Yeah. As Meyer, he'll take it himself as he should. 1 out. So here is Mike Olt, who is 2 for 2 with a run scored.
Robin gave him the 3-0 green light in the 5th inning, and he hit a rocket to left, and then the 2-run homer by Eaton gave the Sox the lead.
Now, there's something that's always been sort of, what would be the definition? Something very exciting about finding a note in a bottle in the ocean.
Yep, you can do it.
Yeah. There's always in baseball been something very exciting about a left-handed hitting catcher.
If you can find one.
If you can find one, that's right.
If you can find one, it's good. Sox bullpen up and going. No action yet in the Twins bullpen.
Jones down in our pen. So Mike remains perfect.
Enter the White Sox Fan Appreciation Sweepstakes now for a chance to win a unique variety of prizes, including a jersey autographed by the 2005 White Sox, tickets to Fan Appreciation Day on October 4th, and more. Visit whitesox.com/summersweeps.
Tyler Saladino running for Holt.
Well, Trevor Plouffe believes that Mike is going to lay one down. If he doesn't, he's going to be a real surprise guy if he goes to third base. Because he is way in on the grass.
Well, if he's going to do that, he might as well go ahead and take it with him. A little drag between first and second.
Tycho looking down at Joe McEwing.
As was Trevor Plouffe. He was trying to see what sign he was going to give him.
I'd be mighty surprised with 1 out.
Yeah.
If they're going to bunt Micah Johnson here. I can't understand why he's in as close as he is.
That's the whole thing, as close as he is. And the count 2-0. Don't help him out. Hall of Famer right there, Paul Molitor. Boy, was he good. One of the best fastball hitters to ever play the game.
He was that. He got a few of mine.
Well, let's face it, you were a curveball pitcher.
I was. And he helped make me one. Because he hit every fastball I threw. Even when I was trying to waste him, he hit him.
I'll tell you, he was somewhere that number 1. I don't care how hard you threw. I don't care what your name was. He could turn you around. Two balls, 2 strikes. Plouffe now back.
Tyler did a pretty good job. He was edging off the bag, trying to get Santana not to pay attention to him. He wanted to get a walking lead with a chance to take off.
Two out.
2 at-bats in a row. That low slider has gotten him. By far Santana's best pitch. And a nice stop by Suzuki.
So 5 strikeouts now, and here's Adam. Adam 1 for 3, but it was a biggie. 2-run homer over that center field fence. There he goes.
Well, no chance at all for Suzuki because Tyler was trying to get that walking lead last at bat. He got the walking lead this time and took off. And there's no chance. I don't care who's catching.
Well, Tyler's got a good technique.
Yes.
No question about that. He was 25 for 27 down in Charlotte.
Well, this is just a heads-up play, knowing that occasionally Santana either wouldn't look over or wouldn't stop him, which is what every pitcher has to do with a good base stealer.
Now pick him up, Adam. And if you miss that home run,
here it is, the hanging slider. He hasn't hung many, but that one cost him the lead at the time.
came right over the top of that one, so the count 2-1.
He tried the real quick pullback, but Mike Winters was not going for it. He went out, went too far, and then just yanked it back as quickly as he could, but he went too far.
Time is called. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Tied at 2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning if you're just tuning in.
To pass along belated birthday wishes to one of our stalwarts in the booth here for many years, Joe Grew, celebrating a milestone birthday yesterday.
Well, Joe's been with me for over 20 years now. The mayor.
I thought he turned 20.
No, 39.
Okay.
39. And holding. Joe. The mayor, he runs this booth. Out and around that one. Full count to Adam. And we're into the 8th, still tied at 2.
The game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Chicago Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Tyler Saladino stays in the game to play third base. And Nate Jones comes into the game on for the 14th time. He's 1-1. His ERA 3.29.
Sano, Plouffe, and Rosario. Three pretty good fastball hitters. Sano has walked, fouled out to LaRoche as he takes ball one and struck out. Watch out.
That slider slipped off his hands and backed up inside. He just barely get out of the way of that one.
High pop-up. Michael. Big out. One down, and here is Plouffe. A strikeout, a homer, and a foul out to LaRoche. First pitch strike. Spun him a little slider up there at 90. That's into left field. Stay in here. Melky, yes.
No, that's out of here.
It's out of here. It just looked like for a second he may have had it. Meanwhile, that ball was just not hit well at all. He fisted it out of here. And it's a 3-2 Minnesota lead.
It's 20 home runs and 75 driven in. 2 solo shots tonight. And our fourth home run replay, he didn't get all of it by any stretch of the imagination, but he's very strong. And Melky goes back as far as he can go, leaps up, and unfortunately, that ball into the pen.
So here's Rosario, 1-0 the count to him. He is 1 for 3. He was robbed of a grand slam homer by Avi Garcia. That coming in the first inning.
Nate now has given up 4 home runs in 14 innings.
And here's that catch by Garcia in the first if you missed it.
What beautiful timing. Top of his leap. He makes the catch.
High pop-up. Saladino making the call. 2 down. Boy, I'll tell you this. What a nice park to hit in. Wow.
With that last ball that Plouffe hit out, now we know he's strong, but he got
nothing in that ball.
Seemingly about half of it.
And just muscled it.
Just kept on going.
Yeah. Here's Torrey, who's had a big night. 2 for 3, RBI double.
And 2 great throws.
Nailed a man at second and a man at home. 2-2 the count. Torrey now with 20 doubles, 65 runs batted in. That slider, and that'll do it. But just a little fly ball goes out of here off the bat of Trevor Plouffe, his second homer. Go to the bottom of the 8th. They lead at 3-2.
And it is Trevor May. May was a starter for a good portion of the year. He's 8-9, his ERA 4.14. Now working out of the bullpen, 102 strikeouts. In 108 2/3, only 24 walks. So he started 16 games, now working exclusively out of the pen, and he's been a very big member of that pen since moving down there.
And here's Abreu. He's 1 for 3. Takes first pitch strike at 93. He has faced Trevor May 13 times, has 4 hits.
Now that May works out of the bullpen, he can use that big fastball. First pitch strike percentage of 73% since moving to the pen.
That breaking ball, and the count 1-2. A roller that he was a little too quick on and hit hard but foul.
May was pretty lucky to get away with that one.
One out.
He just reached back at 97 and threw a perfect pitch on the outside corner. So after hanging a slider, he went back to his best pitch. Couldn't have placed it any better in Suzuki's glove.
Nope. That's what you call filling it up. So here's Melky. Melky 0 for 3. He's due. Curveball strike. Melky is grounded into a fielder's choice. Fly to right and fly to center. Two down.
Reaches back again at 97 and throws another fastball by Melky.
Well, Melky lately has been in that syndrome. Every questionable pitch goes the pitcher's way. That takes away your hitting counts of 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. As here's Avi. He's 0 for 2. And that is just foul.
Boy, that looked like it hit the bag.
Mark Wegner called a foul, and Avi immediately turned around. Here comes Robin. He wants to look at it.
Take another look. No, just on the outside of the line, the outside of the bag, just barely on the outside of the bag.
Yeah, that was foul. That gummit.
It looked like the spin was going to take it, and did take it initially into fair territory, but unfortunately then it started to slice and landed just on the right side of the bag.
Boy won the count. That one at 97. Another 97, and that's in the mezzanine. Three 7-0 for them, 2-6-0 for us in game one of this 3-game series. Curveball, no. Chopper to Hopper. And that'll retire the side. We're into the ninth. We trail at 3-2.
Light, and here's our Miller moments, and they both came off the bat of Trevor Plouffe. That one against Eric Johnson, and that was a line drive rocket, and this one against Nate Jones. And that's the difference in this game as we go to the top of the ninth in a 3-2 game, and Zach Putnam just activated off the disabled list on for the 42nd time. 3-3 with a fine ERA of 3.07 and 55 strikeouts in 41 innings.
Kurt Suzuki. Eduardo Escobar, then back to the top of the order with Aaron Hicks. Outfield straight up. Kurt 1 for 3, had a 4th inning double. That was his 16th two-bagger to go along with 5 homers and 44 knocked in. Two and 0 the count. Two and 1 to count. Pass into left field. Melky.
Tonight at 11, tune in to CSN, the best prep football recap show in Chicagoland on High School Lights. See how top-ranked Homewood Flossmoor fared on the road, plus scores, highlights, and reaction from around the region. Watch High School Lights tonight at 11 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Here's Escobar. He's 0 for 3. That's high and deep to right field. Avi back. And it's a 4-2 Minnesota lead. That is number 10 for Escobar.
And 48 on the power numbers. A Ford home run replay, and this splitter didn't go down near enough. And Avi just not tall enough to bring that one back.
Hicks 1 for 3, a double. He also has walked and stolen a base. That was his 10th in 13 attempts. For our guys in the bottom half of the ninth, it'll be LaRoche, Ramirez, Brantley, Saladino, Johnson. Those are the scheduled hitters. And hopefully 1 or 2 more. Three and 1 to count.
Kevin Jepson, who is their closer now, getting loose.
The count is full. good speed aboard.
Please join Major League Baseball and the entire baseball family as we remember those who lost their lives or whose loved ones lost theirs on September 11th, 2001. We pay tribute to them, to the men and women who serve our country, as we honor a pledge made 14 years ago today. We shall not forget.
Unfortunately, that pledge has been violated by many. Here's Dozier. A couple of walks, a strikeout, and a comebacker to the pitcher. Four 8-0 for them, 2-6-0 for us here in the top of the ninth inning. Big rip by Dozier, who has 27 home runs. Decent lead. Just tuning in, the ball has absolutely been jumping out of this park tonight. Once they got it up in the air, only 3 home runs, but I mean, wow.
Yeah, despite the fact it's only 60 degrees.
There's a bullet off the bat of Dozier. So 1 out, 2 on.
He hits this fastball right on the button, takes it right by Alexi. And then thinking perhaps Hicks would round the bag a little too far, Elke guns it behind him. And he's forced to scamper back. So Dan Jennings loosening up.
And here's Mauer. Mauer's 0 for 3 with a walk. Takes low ball 1. That ball in the dirt. Both runners will advance on the wild pitch.
This splitter in the dirt. Bounds off the chest protector of Rob Bradley.
So now they're going to put him on. And Miguel Sano will be the hitter. Sano 0 for 3. He has walked, struck out, and popped up to second. Also fouled out to first. It's 5-2.
Second wild pitch of the inning, third of the game. And a little more padding on that lead.
Now the infield in. Good block right there by Brantley. They'll just one out. Two and one to count. To the 6'4", 262-pound, 22-year-old DH. Originally a third baseman. Three and one. It's full. Another good stop by Brantley. So the third walk of the inning. And here comes Plouffe as they're going to have a runner for Sano.
You would think it'd be Santana. That's who it is. He can run.
Sox packed with Twinkies. 2 in. They lead at 5-2 here in the top of the ninth inning. If you're just tuning in, Eric Johnson did a good job. Going 5 innings, giving up just 1 run. That was the home run to Plouffe. Second start. He was somewhat wild, but pitched out of it.
Don Cooper coming out. You see pretty good speed on the base paths. Pitch. Last time he hit 3 back in 2007. Last time the Twins had a 3-homer game. Justin Morneau against our Sox.
Another good block by Brantley.
Three and one. Base hit. Another one's going to score. It's 6-2.
That's 3 driven in, 76 for the year, and 3 for 5. As Robin now wants Dan Jennings. So as Jennings comes in, we'll step out and be back after these messages. The bases full of Twins. It's already been a 3-run ninth. Jennings on for the 42nd time. He's 1-3, ERA 4.44. So he's going to look at Eddie Rosario.
Sox packed with Twins. 1 out. They have 3 in. They lead at 6-2. Rosario 1 for 4 with the run scored, and as you have seen, was robbed of a grand slam on a beautiful catch by Javi Garcia. 0-1 to count. Get the force on Mauer. So 2 down.
He had no chance at all to turn 2 here, so come to the plate. Brantley took a look at first, but there was no play there.
And that'll bring up Torrey Hunter. 9th man to come to the plate here in the top of the 9th inning. That's always not good.
It's not a good sign.
No. Torrey's 2 for 4 with an RBI double. And 2 good throws to nail our runners. 1 at second, 1 at home. Ate him up. We'll go first, and that'll do it. But a lot of damage is done. 3 runs across the plate. We trail it by 4.
Between Tampa Bay and Minnesota, he's 3-6, his ERA 2.39. They made a trade right at the trading deadline, and they got Jepson as some insurance in case anything happened to Glenn Perkins. Well, Perkins has had a back problem, and Jepson now has been the de facto closer. He's got 7 saves for Minnesota. It turned out to be just a terrific trade. 12 saves overall. He comes out in a non-save situation, but because he was up, Paul Molitor put him in the game.
Adam LaRoche will lead it off for us. Come on, guys, let's give him a finish. At least. Big hack. Adam 0 for 2 with a walk.
Aaron Hicks shifts over to right field. Byron Buxton takes over in center field. They got a mighty speedy outfield right now, left to right.
One and one to count. Adam. Three and one. Don't help him out. High pop-up. You got a lot of guys who could get there, but
I think the whole outfield could have gotten there. He's as fast as they are. Buxton finally comes on to make the catch.
Yeah, not a lot of fly balls or pop-ups going to hit the ground out there with that speed.
No.
So here's Alexa. He's 0 for 3. Takes up high. Quintana against Cy Malone tomorrow night. $6-10-0 for them. 2-6-0 for us. That's popped up, and it's going to be not playable. Our 2 runs, if you're just tuning in, coming via V's. 2-run homer over the center field fence by Adam Eaton, his 13th homer. He now has 45 knocked in. Right there, couldn't pull the trigger on it. Through the wickets of Kurt Suzuki. Chopper. Dozier. Two down.
Little unorthodox for Brian Dozier, but he made the play. He goes over, slides, and then off balance throw, but he got it there.
Here's Brantley. He's 1 for 3. And done a good job behind the plate. Having his hands full tonight, especially in the 9th inning. Get yourself a knock right here. Good rip. And when this ball comes down, this game is over. So the Twins come out. They score 3 in the top of the ninth. They win it 6-2. And our player of the game is the third baseman, Trevor Plouffe. Couple of home runs, 3 RBIs, our player of the game. So for Steve Stone, for Jim Angio, for Mike Leary, for Dave Ross, for Mark Harper, also for our birthday boy, the mayor, Mean Joe Groove, for Joe Paulsback, Mike Mayer, Paul Carey, and Doug Bullard. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.